All right, so let me show you the functionality of this thing. Even though I showed you yesterday, I'm showing it too for Carlton's kind of sake. Um, the spreadsheet that I have, it basically can be used in two parts. I use it as a mailing tool. What I did was I put in all of my students' email addresses with commas to separate them. So when I give you a copy, I'm going to give you a blank copy of this thing, and all you got to do is go into PowerSchool and put in all of your email addresses, um, and then only mess with this C column, and don't mess with this thing, because what this does is it basically calls that. So all the functionality is already built in. If you click on here, it will automatically pull up emails for whatever. Okay, wait a second. What happened to my? There we go. Let's do this. All right. So if you click on these things, it will hyperlink it to when you mail it to. You can click on here and mail it to everybody in the class, including all the students and the parents. The thing you have to remember to do, and please don't forget to do this, is copy and paste this tool, or all of the addresses from this to box, and put it in the BCC. I still have to figure out how to have that functionality where it just goes straight over to BCC. Taking attendance for me, I said it was as easy as copy and paste. It's not as easy, but I'll show you exactly how I do it and the steps that I take. You can use this spreadsheet for just that mailing tool, or you can use the way I'm using it. So I have all of my days here already, all the way up until the middle of February, and then to add more days, I just simply just add more cells to the right hand side, and then drop and drag, all that kind of stuff. What I can do here is, okay, so to do this thing, I go to people for the class that I'm talking about, and I'll just copy and paste all of this stuff, all the way up until name over here. Then I go over to my blank template, and I'll copy and paste all that information. Sometimes the top column gets messed up, but if I go all the way up to name, it doesn't matter. All right, so this is apparently the last time these people have logged in. According to this system over here, or at least had some kind of remote form of activity. I want to take this guy right here, this column right here, and Control C, then I go over to here, and I'm going to hold down the control button and press that. It's kind of a right click, and then do a paste special. I want to get the values specifically. The reason why this person has a blank here is because this person never logged in up to this point. I kind of use that as my, like just to double check I'm getting everything in the right spot. This is not numbers. These are actually, the computer thinks they're words. So I have to go to Format, Number, and I tell it it's a number. And then I usually like to decrease the amount of decimals that it sees. So this is saying it's the second. So what the function on the side does is it basically says, is this number bigger than the day from that date up there?
So is this 25 because it's the first?
There's going to be some kind of funkiness that happens, obviously, when you switch months. So I'm going to just what I'll probably have to do is just make this a 0 as the last time they logged in. So so the function works. Or I can even manually put in the X.
Got it.
You know what I mean? For the grades, what I do is I go to the student interaction report. I mean, you can always go to the grade book or whatever, but I just copy and paste this guy. What kind of got to me at first is the last student interaction. These dates I started originally I was basing all my attendance off of this, but I have no idea how they did this.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
This is not the same as the previous screen, and I think that what they're trying to do is they have a difference. There's a difference between the last interaction maybe and the what they're calling the last login. Maybe they're counting a interaction as a submitting an assignment or something like that.
Submitting an assignment or maybe sending you a message.
Right, but that's
or-
not necessarily the same thing as
No.
right. So originally I had things based off of that, but I realized this thing is, my attendance just got all messed up.
Yeah.
So I know better now, and it took a lot of figuring out to do this thing right here. For the grades, I simply just copy and paste it down here, and then I steal this information right here. And oh wait, it's right here, and then I just copy and paste this thing. Make sure to start from the top. Now, the thing that this thing does is these two lists are different actually. This list includes me. You see that?
Yeah.
But the student interaction where they give you your grades does not include me.
Right.
So what I have to do here is I just take this and I copy and paste him down just one cell like that.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes what that does is it messes up these functions over here. If you look over here, these functions, like, I don't know why it goes 18, 18, 19. So what I usually do is I just take the top one and I just drag him down to kind of clean it all up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so then let's see if I got any X's. I'm going to put a 0 in for here. So I'm not going to count this. There we go, see? So because this is the passing of the month, I need to do this. All right, so it looks to me like I've got 2 people who have problems with attendance right here. Mark, who, last time he attended was in January, and he also has a 37%. And then also this person, Ikasia, who the last time she attended was in January, and she has a D. So this thing will mark that for me. What's nice about this system is, let's see. Oops.
You broke it.
Yeah. All right. What's nice about this system is 65, 64. Okay, I see. Let's make this a 69, and we'll make this a 70. Well, this mailing tool, it references this cell right here, the column. So I need to tell them, hey, I want you to do the 69 column. What it does is it actually, if I have 3 X's in a row, then it gives me a word here that says need. Does that make sense? And then I know, hey, I need to do something. That's a need for an interaction.
So not to throw a kink into all of this, but earlier this year we clarified, do they want 3 in a row or 3 for the whole term? And we were told that if a student has 3 absences for the whole term, not for 3 in a row, that we're to contact the student and family.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, all it does is it says, all it's doing is it gives me a, hey, heads up. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
no, it's a good heads up. It's a necessary.
And I just email the parent and I say, hey, I'm kind of concerned what's going on, because what I'm ending up doing is, and that's why I actually added 2 of them, because not only do I want to just mail, home for absentees, which apparently it's only 3 total, and I can change the functionality of that. I'll just have to say, look at all the previous cells before it, and if you see 3 X's, tell me.
We may need to get additional clarification again, because that's what we were told right at the beginning, but it seems that many teachers are doing 3 days in a row, so I don't know which one they actually intended, because that was never clear.
Either or, what it does is at least gives me a like I just wanted to say need, as in you need to do something. You need to
For
look
sure.
into this, or at least you need to have this on your radar so that when they ask you about the student, oh yeah, I've actually have been keeping monitoring of the student. But I added a second mail to, and it looks at this column right here,
Okay.
and it just says, so this mail to function, all it does is it calls things that are like, if there's anything written here, then add them to my list. So now I can email all of my D's and F students. I just say, those are all the emails for the parents and the students who are getting D's and F's. So now kick out a quick email, say, not attendance notice, but like, concerned about your grade in algebra 2. I'm concerned your child is getting a D or an F, and I just want you to take a look at that and all of that kind of stuff, just to give you a heads up. It's allowing me to be really interactive with this mail to. I used to have this mail to button on every single one of these days, but the problem is, since this thing has to reference a separate script, it's kind of been crashing the thing. So I don't need yesterday's mail to stuff, so I just drag it over to the day I need specifically, and then it references all of these numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So then now I got to go back to my grade. Oh wait, there's 3 people, because there was nothing here. This was a blank because that person never logged in. So I'm going to put a 0 there definitely. So now I got to go to the attendance report. I know this seems like a lot more work, and maybe it is a lot more work, but someone was asking me for a really detailed history of, like, I need a lot of background. I need you to email because we have this student meeting about, like, this particular student, and I need to know exactly when their grade was poor and when their grade was good and all of that kind of stuff. And without having this to reference, I emailed that person back and said, okay, well, for that particular person, they were doing poor all the way up to the 15th, and then they shot their grade up, and then they dipped down a little bit, but now their grade is setting out to be a B and all of that kind of stuff. I can see the history.
Right.
Or, hey, Tosh, your attendance is a little bit off. Then I can say, well, I know exactly. So it was Shane, and it was, who was it? It was Shane, Mark, and Acacia. Shane, Mark, and Acacia. That's done.
Now, I noticed that there are some other students, such as Shannon Brack, who have not logged in for a number of days. I'm also having that
this one right here?
in my class. So,
But for me, she's doing well enough, right? Like, she's getting a
Right.
C and above. So this thing only marks you off. Like, she was supposed to be on the 27th. She didn't get her 27th. She
Right.
was on the 25th. And apparently hasn't logged in for since the 25th.
right.
So, but the system looks at, well, is this person, did they log in, and are they getting below a 69%?
Right.
If that's the case, then ding them. You know what I mean? And apparently this is a little bit off again. I don't know why it does that sometimes. I think it's when we end up copying and pasting things around.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about past days, though. But, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. What was your question?
So for those students, I do mark them as absent because they're not attending class, and attendance is just whether or not they were there, regardless of their grade.
Well, wait a second, though. See, that I think we need clarification, because from what I understand is, if they're getting a C, B, or an A, they get a free pass. And the example that they gave was the Jenna Shotwell example.
But that is only because we are to assume. So, for example, I have a student who likes to do his work a day ahead of time. So he'll download a few days worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
So he may not be there on one day, but he does his work. So I don't mark him absent for that day. But for individuals like that, who
For
are
this one.
missing so many days in a row. There's no way that she has downloaded all the work. She hasn't been coming to my virtual classes. I know she hasn't downloaded the work. So I have been marking her as absent because regardless of what her grade is,
Yeah.
she is not attending class, and that is attendance. It's in the first meeting that we have, they're like, okay, so if a student shows up to school all day and they're not paying attention at all, that doesn't matter. We mark them as attended in a traditional school.
Right.
If they're not there, regardless of whether they're doing work at home, they're not there, and so they get marked as absent.
Right.
So if students are not showing up, especially multiple days, regardless of what their grade is, I am marking them as absent because they did not log in at all. They're not doing what they need to do in the course.
So one of the things we can do is, and like I said, this is a tool that we can definitely use, and I can definitely modify it as need be. Is first of all, you can always put in an X,
Yeah,
literally, and
absolutely,
just cover up the programming. Be careful when copying it or when dragging the formulas, because if you manually put in an X there, then that person will have an X all the way through. So that's one warning. But then the second thing is we can always change this equation.
Yeah.
So to just say, hey, if it meets this criteria, definitely put an X. If it doesn't meet this criteria, but this cell is smaller than that number, then put a question mark to indicate that
I
you
like
need
that.
to assess this information.
Ooh, I like the idea of having a question mark.
Right? Because this need function right here only looks at this and says, is there an X there? It
Right.
doesn't say, is there something there?
Right.
So all I have to do is say, is over here, I can just maybe even replace, if this is true, then X. If, I think it's really just, I replace this double quotation with, if BN5 is bigger than the day of BN1, then put a question mark. If not, put a blank. And then that way it says, exactly what you mark as absent. And then the other ones, maybe we need to go in and look at it on a, case-by-case basis.
Right. Yeah.
So I can, if you want, I can change the functionality of the thing. It just takes some time.
I mean, I have my own paper system that I use for attendance, but I'm certainly open to playing around with this and seeing if I like this better.
Yeah.
But the element that really intrigued me the most was this ability to instantly be able to email student and parent or whole class cohesively. That was super cool.
That is something I've wanted to have a solution for a long time, and I thought that maybe we can integrate that into our Gmail, and then the Canvas was kind of an option, but I never got full control over exactly which parents those go out to.
Right.
Plus, I can't forward emails to admin
Right.
from Canvas, and that's always a pain. So now it just goes through the mail tool, and for this one, it goes straight into the two. Everything goes into two. So this is Diamond and her parents.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
and I don't mind that a child has their own parent's email address.
Yeah, no, the 2 is not a problem there.
Yeah.
But
I think
for
that
I would be CC.
yeah. I'm sure that for this button right here, we can figure out a different thing. And I think I already made a copy for you, so I'm just gonna send out share with everybody the copy.
Awesome.
And then or at least share with everyone who's interested the copy, and then we can tailor it to how you do it. And then if you end up changing my programming, by all means, there's no restrictions on it whatsoever. Just maybe you can let me know things that work for you, and then I can incorporate that into my stuff.
Okay.
So, all right. Any questions?
I don't think so. This is awesome.
All right, cool.
I can't wait to play with it.